3-week vacation with 2 kids flying solo. It's kind of couldn't have been a better place to do it, though, honestly.
Why, Smokey?
Can you talk about deciding to come here for an artist residency volunteer type of experience, and what led you to deciding to do something like that?
Yeah, I've actually been wanting to start doing art more full-time as like a career, or something that I do more often, especially murals and like in spaces where I feel like the people are valuing my actual art. And so a super amazing opportunity to be able to come out here and trade time to stay, because otherwise like there's no way I'd be able to take both of these guys on a 3-week trip to Hawaii. Like, being able to have that opportunity was like so amazing. It was like it showed up on my lap like the perfect time, and you guys have been like so supportive and encouraging, and it's helped me even with the art. It's helped me to like know that there's people that are going to value what I have to offer, that mural is always going to be here, and that we got to have a part in making this place more beautiful than it already is. It actually has helped me take more of a step in the direction of the type of life that I want to live and the type of life that I want to give these guys. And that it's like possible to do these kinds of things with your kids. Even though it's hard and it's scary, and there's still challenges that come up. It's been a perfect place to work through those internally, externally, bug bites, sunburns, living in a space that's not our space. And
I trip a lot.
You do trip a lot.
There's a lot to trip on here, huh?
There's a lot to trip on here. But showing them, too, that it's, like, possible to do what you want. There's not limitations, and I have to model that for them, because it was never modeled for me, and so I have to trust that, too. I have to be like, there's no limitations, and, like, even when I don't know how it's going to work out or what's going to happen, like, obviously I'd never met, like, you guys, but coming out here and, like, letting them see, like, you can live with people, you can love people that you've just met, you can have this sense of community with the land, like, knowing that it exists in the world makes me so happy, and they aren't aware of it yet, but I hope as they get older. I hope as they get older they'll have
pancakes. Yay!
they'll have taken something from it.
Nixon, what was your favorite and your least favorite part about being at Earthsong and being in Hawaii this time?
Least favorite has to be mosquitoes. Or this weird scratch I got on my leg. Tripping mosquitoes and sunburns. Ew, surfing. Belly sliding.
Belly sliding in the ocean? That
Or
was
just
pretty epic.
Boogie boarding. You even get a try. So keep asking next time, he's like,
I also really appreciate how much community I felt with you and Ryan with them. Like, being a parent and being a single parent especially, like, people aren't always well receiving of children, which is totally fine, and it is what it is. And like, even when people are like, I love kids, they still, like, you don't really feel like you can trust them to help guide them and make corrections if you're not around, or like give them a snack if they're hungry. Like, it's usually like people are just like nice to kids, but then it's like, okay, go find your mom. But like, knowing that like I could focus on what I needed to focus on, and that there were other adults that like valued my children and wanted to sit down and take the time to have a conversation with them and take them aside and say like, hey, here's something, like giving them little directions and guidance, and not viewing them as other and separate, and also not viewing them as like an inconvenience, but like seeing them as like valuable too. Not just like, oh, Lottie brought her kids, but it's like, oh, these guys, and like teaching them things and talking with them and getting on their level and building with them, and like
them.
that was really important to me. That meant a lot. And so having that, like, having other adults that I trust my children around was like huge, because that was another thing. I was like, I don't know what's gonna, you know what I mean? If I'm gonna have to kind of like keep them with me all the time, but like I knew that they were safe here. I knew that they could go to anybody at any time, and I knew that the land was safe for them to be on. Like, okay, go explore, you know, like sending them out of the nest a little bit, or like going to the ocean and letting them just like charge into the waves, like, and trust their little instincts. Like, there's just been a lot of growth for everybody. You don't like papayas?
I don't like papaya either.
Some people don't like
mango.
papaya.
Mango! I did a whole dance about it yesterday at the beach.
I remember that, the mango train. That was really great. Yeah, that was
And
really
now
good.
it's-
How did you find making art in this type of environment versus other environments you've made art?
I didn't have to think about it at all. And generally when I make art, I don't think about it. There's not a lot of pre-planning that goes into it. I just kind of like, here
Yeah.
it goes. But I've been in kind of like a rut of like a capitalistic rut of feeling like I have to make stuff that people are gonna like, or I need to make something that's gonna like sell, or, you know, I haven't really been able to, or comparing my art to other artists that I really like think are cool. And everything here is just like, there's so many patterns, there's so many colors, there's so many things like speaking to you and singing to you, and it's just like so visually like stimulating and pleasing to just know that like I could just be in a flow state and that it was going to be valued, that wasn't going to be like, oh, I don't like it. That happens a lot when I do, you know what I mean? People want some regurgitated thing that they've seen on the internet, and that's challenging for me because I like to do things that are going to be like, oh, Lottie made that. I would like look at pictures or go out and look at those mushrooms, and then I just like came back in, and I wasn't even like looking at it as a whole. I would just like pick one color at a time and just flow with that line, pick the next color. I had no idea what it was looking like until I would like back up and I would be like, oh shit, that looks really cool. But there was no like intellect at all. It was purely just feeling it, putting on music and just going for it. It was so much more enjoyable. It was like, this is what I want to do all the time. It's just that. Just be able to do that. And I love mushrooms. I feel like I was a mushroom in my most recent past life.
A mutant mushroom.
A mutant mushroom, yes.
A past life.
So speaking of the
mushroom.
classes and stuff, some of the extra stuff that you partook in, what was that like for you?
Oh, it was so beautiful. And I think this is probably like working with you in the like 2 classes that I was able to go to were like my first like introductions to any sort of breath work. There's not a lot of stuff around where I live and so it was interesting, the blocks that I have around expressing. Even though I'm like so expressive, it was like interesting to see the ways that like I am like, be small, don't be too loud, don't take up too much space, and then having you be like, yell, bro, and I'm like, ah. But then when you said like, how do you feel? How do you really feel right now? And I just started like crying. This place is so healing because there's nowhere to run and there's nowhere to hide. But it's safe. It's not like there's nowhere to run, there's nowhere to hide. It's cold and dark and empty. It's like, look around you, everything's so beautiful. What are you even running from?
Rats.
Besides rats. And your classes, being able to like be in the presence of other people that are just fully expressing, and knowing that even at my stage in the game where there is resistance and there is hesitancy, that's accepted too. That's okay too. I don't have to be as loud as everybody else in the room. If what I need to do is sit there and be silent, that's welcomed and accepted. It's not like there's any mold that I had to fit, and like hearing everybody else's expression was like really incredibly liberating. And then the class that I had with Ryan so slow, so easy, so simple. It just felt like friends hanging out, but like in a really empowering, like self-healing way, because it was like, go at your own pace, do what you need to do. Here's some gentle guidance because I've been down the road, but I want you to make your choices. It wasn't like, do this because I know everything. Like, it felt really safe and held too, and like completely, like, you guys are like these different polarities, you know. His was quiet and slow, and yours was like ah! And both of them were so valuable, you know.
Hey boys, how did you like the yoga class you took? Was it pretty weird?
I hurt my legs. I really didn't like it.
What was the most uncomfortable part, speaking of, for you in this experience?
Just being
my
here.
leg.
Being in Hawaii or Earthsong or...
I think it's been being in a space that's not my own space and having to take up space in a space that's not my own. Because generally when I'm in a space that's not my own, I'm just like, keep to myself, shrink down, don't be seen, don't be heard, do your thing, stay out of everybody's way. Or if I'm in my own space, I'm like, this is my space. But like here, it's like, it's not my space, it's a shared space, but it's also a shared space that doesn't require, but really encourages like authenticity of however you're feeling at any given moment.
What did you learn about
Interesting.
sharing space? Nix?
Hard.
It's hard.
It's hard.
Yeah.
Even if you love everybody. We live in such a insanely fast-paced society that it's like, get to the next thing, get to the next thing, get to the next thing. Having the time to just chop wood and carry water is really nice. Like, it makes those little aspects, those little moments of just being alive enjoyable. And that's where I feel like it's hard for people, where it's like, just enjoy the little things. It's like, we're not even allowed to enjoy the little things. So being in a space where I'm still able to work and contribute and add to and be a part of bigger, but the little things that make my little day-to-day go around were just as important to everybody else here. It wasn't just like crank out this mural and get it done, paint these and get it done. It was like, do what you need to do. It's very much like the lifestyle of fill up your own cup, and whatever's pouring over after will gratefully receive. But we don't want you pouring from an empty cup. That doesn't serve anybody. And like having that supported and like actually like functioning and working is like amazing. It's amazing. I love it.
Hi friends, Elena here. If you would like to support Earthsong in the ongoing care of the land that we steward and in our efforts to make travel, higher learning, and holistic health more accessible to amazing people like Lottie, Nixson, and Huxley, you can become a part of our global village online, which is linked here in the video. It's starting to rain on me. And if you would like to find out about how you can visit us here, you can visit our website, earthsongfoundation.org. And if this video may resonate with people that you know, feel free to share it. Share our channel or our website with them. And thank you so much for all support. It is so very much appreciated. And we are looking forward to connecting with you, with more open, kind, and talented people to collaborate, create, and grow together.